In today's video, I'm going to go over the power of XLOOKUP. I'm going to show you 7 different functions it can effectively do and potentially replace. In this first example, I've got box office sales by year. And the first function XLOOKUP can replace is, of course, VLOOKUP. One of the downsides of VLOOKUP is it can't go left. It can only retrieve values to the right. But XLOOKUP is much more versatile and it can go left or right. But in this example, I'm just going to show you how it can act as a VLOOKUP function. So let's say we want to pull up the number of tickets sold in 2020. So I'm going to enter an input of value of 2020 here and set up my XLOOKUP formula as follows. So I'm going to reference that lookup value, and then this is my lookup range. And now I just simply select which column I want to return the values from. Hit enter, and it correctly gives me that number for 2020, 219,986,842. If I change this to 2024, it'll update accordingly. So a really easy way to replace VLOOKUP, a lot simpler to set up. You don't have to count the number of columns, just select your ranges and then your lookup value, and that's all you need to do. In this example, I'm going to do a horizontal lookup and show you how it can replace HLOOKUP. So here, let's say I want to pull the number of movies a specific studio released for a given year. In this case, let's say I'm going to look at Walt Disney. So I'm going to set up another input field here for Walt Disney. And my XLOOKUP function, I'm going to set up this as my lookup value again. This time, my lookup range is horizontal. And I'm going to pull the values from 2024, hit enter, and it tells me that Walt Disney released 5 movies during that year. So I can adjust this if I want to adjust the range or the studio. Let's say Sony Pictures, copy and paste. It'll update accordingly. So really easy to replace HLOOKUP as well. The next function it can replace is still within the lookup family, and this is the old school lookup function. You may be wondering why you may want to use the lookup function when you've got VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, but lookup was used a lot of times to pull the last value. Like let's say we want to pull the last value in this table. So I'm going to show you how we can set it up with lookup and also XLOOKUP. So with lookup, we might do something where we're looking up a value of 2, and the reason is we're going to be doing a search for values that are greater than 0. So basically I'm taking 1 divided by this range. So as you can see, it's already fairly complicated because we're setting up this sort of convoluted function here to evaluate values that are greater than 0, turning it into a fraction and finding out which ones are errors. And the 2 lookup value ensures we get the last one. So it's very complicated, but it's going to get the result that we need. So we want to pull this 1221,788 without having to say we're looking up for the year 1995. So it pulls in that correctly just because it is doing that complex evaluation here. But with XLOOKUP, this process is much simpler. And so here's how we can achieve the same result. So the lookup value in this case, we're just looking for a value of 1. We're basically looking for a numerical value. And for the lookup array, it's column A and column B, and it may not really necessarily matter which one you're looking at as long as you got a numerical value. And then for the if not found, we're going to skip that one. For the match mode, we're going to specify a 1 value, exact match or next larger item. And then -1, we're searching from last to first. This one says first to last, but we're actually -1 is doing the opposite. So it's going to start from the bottom up, and it's going to give us that same value. So if we want to pull in the last value, we can do the same thing with XLOOKUP, and this is a much cleaner formula than this one. The next function XLOOKUP can replace is the index function. And sometimes you may use the index function in combination with the match function if you don't want to use VLOOKUP, or in some cases you want to pull a specific cell based on where it lies within your table. So for example, here we've got years and different headers. So we've got top selling movies. So let's say I want to pull out the top selling movie for 2024, which is Inside Out, and I want to pull a specific header total for the year, but I want to make it dynamic so I can change that header if I wanted to. I don't necessarily want to hard code it and say I always want to pull from column F. This is where the index function is useful in this case, because index with match, we can do a search for the column name and also for the year, and then pull in that specific cell that we want. But you don't need to do that with XLOOKUP. It's a lot a lot cleaner. We just need to use the XLOOKUP function. So I'm going to set up a couple inputs here, one for the year and one for the header, because I just don't want to hard code these values into my formula. So I'm going to copy the header exactly. So this total for the year, paste it in here. And now I'm going to use XLOOKUP. So the first thing I'm going to do is look up the year. So 2024, and I'm going to specify these values here. And then for the return array, instead of actually specifying a column that I'm going to pull them from, I'm going to use another XLOOKUP function. And this time I'm going to look up the header. So the total for the year. And now I'm going to select just my headers. And now for the return array, I'm going to select everything else here. So the key thing with this is to make sure that, we're not overlapping our selections here. So we've got one lookup range, another lookup range, and this is what we're pulling from. So now when I close this out, we'll get the number of 652,980,194, which matches up with this value for inside out too. So the great thing about this is, now I've got a dynamic function. I don't need to use index. Let's say I change it to 2004. Top selling movie that year was Shrek 2. So 439,496,836. And let's change it to the total in $2024. So I'm going to copy this, paste it in here. So we can see that's updated. Now it's pulling from this column. So now by just using XLOOKUP, we've got actually two XLOOKUP functions. One that's doing a lookup vertically and one horizontally, and then pulling the value from the table based on where it intersects. The next function XLOOKUP can replace is the match function. So we didn't need it for the index and match combination because the XLOOKUP can obviously retrieve a value based on its position. With the match function, though, it returns a specific number. So it'll tell us what location in that column or that specific range that it found that value at. But we can achieve the same thing with XLOOKUP. So let's say we want to pull in the top movie for 2024. And in this case, we're looking up the year 2024. So we want to find out what column or what row 2024 was in. Because with the match function, it's going to return a value. Like if we use the match function here, look up this value within this range, and we're looking for an exact match, it's going to tell us it's in the 31st position in here, in this data set. So I'm going to replicate that with the XLOOKUP function. So how this is going to work is I'm going to specify 2024 as my lookup value. And now in my lookup array, it's going to be column A. And now for my return array, I'm going to use the row function and put column A within that. And that's going to tell me the 31st position in that range. The next function it can replace is the offset function. And the offset function is a useful function to use when you want your range to dynamically adjust based on a set criteria. So for example, here, I want to sum up the total tickets sold since 2020. I'm going to enter that as my input field. So tickets sold since 2020. And I'm going to show you how we can do this with the offset function and the XLOOKUP function. So let's start with the offset function. So I'm going to start with the sum function because I want to sum up these values. And I'm going to start by selecting B3. So this is the most recent year, and type in colon, erase that extra B3 that it created. And instead, I'm going to type in offset. And then my reference, my starting point is going to be B3. But to calculate the number of rows, I'm going to use the match function here to look up this value 2020 within this range for the years. So I want to be careful in selecting the range to make sure we're selecting from that initial value. And then for the match type, it's going to be a 0. We're looking for an exact match. I'm going to subtract 1 just because the offset function jumps ahead. So I just need to make sure to offset that. And then the number of columns is 0 because I'm not jumping any columns. And close this. And so it tells me 3828950,063. So since 2020. So I'm going to use the auto sum just to verify that. Tickets sold since 2020. And so that is a match. So that is the correct value. So now let's show how we can do this with XLOOKUP. Now with XLOOKUP, as you can recall from the previous example, it can replace the match function. And it can also do the same as the offset function. So let's see how it works. So again, I'm going to use the sum function, and I'm still going to set up as my starting point being that first cell, the most recent value, B3, get rid of that value. And now I'm going to replace it with XLOOKUP. And with the XLOOKUP, I'm looking up this year. So 2020 is my year. I'm going to look up this range, A3 to A33, and then return a value of B3 to B33. And the reason this works is because when you use XLOOKUP in the context of a range, it knows now it's not going to return a specific value. It's instead going to pull in a range. So now if I close this out, you see it gives me the exact same value. So let's take a look at the formula and how it's actually calculating. So if I click on evaluate formula, we can see H4, it's looking up that specific range A and then returning the value from B. And so you can see it's not returning a value, the actual cell location. So actually XLOOKUP is smart enough to know that in this context, because we're looking at a range, it's retrieving that location instead of the actual value. So a really cool thing about XLOOKUP is it's dynamic enough to know what it needs to do based on the context. Because we put that colon in, it knows we're looking for a specific range. The next function that XLOOKUP can replace is the if-error function. Let's say we want to look up the value for the year 2026. Obviously, I don't have 2026 in here yet. So if I want to calculate the number of tickets sold and do an XLOOKUP, I can specify this as my lookup value. So look it up as I normally do in my lookup array and then my return array. And now I'll get an error message here saying NA. So obviously we don't want to see this. And normally what you may do in this case is put an if-error function, but there's actually an option here, if not found, one of the arguments in here. So we can say not found instead of having that error message in here. So now it returns that, and we don't have to worry about wrapping this within an if-error function. Now, obviously, you wouldn't use XLOOKUP as a standalone if-error replacement, but it's just an example of one of the things that it can also do within this. So that's 7 functions that XLOOKUP can effectively replace and do the job of. Let me know your comments, what you think. I'm sure I probably missed some that it can potentially do as well. Let me know in the comments what you think. And if you like this video, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.